You know, there comes a moment in every person's life when you feel like you just can't go on anymore. You wake up in the morning and that heaviness is there. That feeling that everything is too much. The job feels meaningless. The relationships feel draining. Even the things that used to bring you joy now feel like obligations. You're tired. Not just physically tired, but tired in your soul. Tired of trying. Tired of failing. Tired of hoping. Tired of everything. And I want to tell you something right now. That feeling, that exhaustion, that place you're in right now, it's not the end. It's actually the beginning. Because when you're tired of everything, when you've reached that point where you can't pretend anymore, where you can't fake it anymore, where you can't keep going through the motions, that's when real transformation becomes possible. That's when you're finally ready to make a change. Not a little change, not a surface change, but a real, fundamental shift in how you see yourself and your life. See, most people spend their entire lives running from discomfort, running from pain, running from themselves. They fill their days with distractions and busy work and other people's problems because they don't want to face what's really going on inside. But when you're tired of everything, you can't run anymore. You don't have the energy. And that's actually a gift. Because now you have to stop, you have to be still. You have to look at what's really there. The tiredness you're feeling, it's not just about needing a vacation or a good night's sleep. It's your soul telling you that something is out of alignment. You've been living in a way that doesn't match who you really are. You've been trying to fit into a life that was designed by other people's expectations, other people's rules, other people's definitions of success. And your inner being, your true self, is exhausted from pretending. It's tired of the act. It's ready to come home. Think about this for a moment. When you were born, you came into this world with unlimited potential. You were pure possibility. You didn't have any beliefs about what you couldn't do. You didn't worry about what other people thought. You didn't have any fear of failure because you didn't even know what failure was. You were just you, expressing yourself naturally, reaching for what interested you, crying when you needed something, laughing when something delighted you. You were authentic. You were real. You were free. But then something happened. The world got to you. Your parents, with all their love and all their own fears, started teaching you how to be safe. Your teachers taught you how to fit in. Your friends taught you how to be cool. Society taught you what success looks like. And slowly, layer by layer, you built up this false self. This version of you that knows how to please people, how to avoid criticism, how to stay small so you don't threaten anyone, how to play the game. And that false self has been running your life. And now it's exhausted. Because it takes an enormous amount of energy to be someone you're not. The fatigue you feel is the energy drain of living a lie. Not a malicious lie, not a conscious deception, but the lie of pretending that you're less than you are. The lie of believing that you need to earn your worth. The lie of thinking that happiness is somewhere out there in some achievement or possession or relationship rather than right here, right now, inside of you. So when you're tired of everything, what you're really tired of is the pretending. You're tired of trying to be good enough. You're tired of seeking approval. You're tired of living up to standards that don't even belong to you. You're tired of the anxiety of trying to control everything. You're tired of the disappointment when things don't work out the way you planned. You're tired of carrying around old wounds and resentments. You're tired of the story you've been telling yourself about who you are and what your life has to be. And here's the beautiful thing. You can put it all down. Right now. All of it. You don't have to carry it anymore. You think you have to. You think if you stop trying so hard, everything will fall apart. But I'm here to tell you that when you stop trying to control everything, when you stop pushing and forcing and manipulating, that's when life can actually flow through you the way it's meant to. That's when miracles happen. That's when synchronicities show up. That's when doors open that you didn't even know existed. You see, you've been operating under a false belief. The belief that you are separate from the source of life. You think you're a little separate being all alone in the universe, and you have to fight and struggle to get your piece of the pie. You think life is hard and then you die. You think you have to make things happen through sheer force of will. But that's not how the universe works. You are not separate from life. You are life itself, expressing itself in a unique form. You are connected to everything. You are part of the infinite intelligence that creates worlds and spins galaxies and knows exactly when to make a flower bloom, right now, As you're reading this, your heart is beating without you telling it to beat. Your lungs are breathing without you reminding them to breathe. Your body is performing millions of functions every single second that you're not even aware of. There's an intelligence within you that knows exactly what to do. And that same intelligence that's running your body, that's keeping you alive without any effort on your part, that intelligence is also trying to run your life. It's trying to guide you. It's trying to show you the way. But you keep overriding it with your thinking, with your fear, with your need to control. When you're tired of everything, it's because you've been trying to do it all yourself. You've been trying to figure it all out. You've been trying to make things happen. You've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And you weren't meant to live that way. You were meant to be a channel for life to flow through. You were meant to be guided by something larger than your small self. You were meant to trust. Trust. That's a scary word for most people, because trust means letting go. Trust means surrendering. Trust means admitting that you don't have all the answers. And your ego hates that. Your ego wants to be in control. Your ego wants to be important. Your ego wants to take credit when things go well and blame others when things go wrong. But your ego is also what's making you tired, because the ego is never satisfied. It always wants more. It's always comparing. It's always worried about the future or ruminating about the past. The ego cannot be present, and presence is where all your power is. When you're truly present, you're not tired. Think about a moment when you were completely absorbed in something. Maybe you were playing with a child. Maybe you were creating something. Maybe you were in nature. In that moment, you weren't thinking about your problems. You weren't worried about tomorrow. You weren't regretting yesterday. You were just here, now, alive in this moment. And in that moment, you felt energized. You felt connected. You felt like yourself. That's who you really are. You are that presence. You are that awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your past. You are not your circumstances. You are the consciousness that witnesses all of those things. And that consciousness is never tired. It's always here. It's always now. It's always enough. But you've forgotten this. You've identified with your mind instead of identifying with your true self. You think you are your thoughts, so when your thoughts are negative, you feel negative. You think you are your emotions, so when your emotions are painful, you feel like you're suffering. You think you are your story, so when your story is sad, you feel like a victim. But none of that is who you really are. Those are just experiences you're having. They're like weather patterns passing through. You are the sky. The sky doesn't get upset when clouds appear. The sky doesn't worry about storms. The sky is always there, always clear, always spacious, always holding everything with perfect peace. So how do you get back to that? How do you remember who you really are when you're so tired you can barely think straight? You start by being honest. You stop pretending. You stop putting on a brave face. You stop acting like everything is fine when it's not. You admit that you're tired. You admit that you're struggling. You admit that you don't have it all figured out. And you know what happens when you do that? You create space. You create space for truth. You create space for help. You create space for grace. Because right now, you're probably putting on a mask for everyone in your life. You're showing up as the strong one, the capable one, the one who has it together. And meanwhile, inside, you're falling apart. And that disconnect is exhausting. When what you're showing on the outside doesn't match what you're feeling on the inside, it drains your life force. So you have to bring those two things into alignment. You have to let people see the real you, the tired you, the uncertain you, the vulnerable you. And yes, that's scary, because you've been taught that vulnerability is weakness. But actually, vulnerability is courage. Vulnerability is strength. Vulnerability is what connects us to each other and to ourselves. When you're tired of everything, you need support. But you can't receive support if you're pretending you don't need it. You can't receive love if your walls are up. You can't receive guidance if you think you already know everything. You have to be willing to say, I need help. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. And when you can admit that, that's when the help arrives, not before. Because the universe doesn't force itself on you. It waits for you to ask. It waits for you to open. It waits for you to be willing. And I'm not just talking about asking other people for help, although that's important too. I'm talking about asking the infinite intelligence within you. Some people call it God. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it higher self or inner being or source. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that you recognize there is something bigger than your limited, fearful, ego-based thinking, and that something is always there for you, always guiding you, always supporting you, always loving you. But you have to tune in, you have to get quiet, you have to create space in your life for that voice to be heard. And that's hard in our modern world. We're so addicted to noise and stimulation and distraction. We check our phones 100 times a day. We fill every moment with activity. We're afraid of silence. We're afraid of stillness. Because in the silence, in the stillness, we might have to feel what we've been avoiding. We might have to face what we've been running from. We might have to sit with the pain we've been numbing. But that's exactly what needs to happen. The pain you're avoiding is the pain that's making you tired. It's taking up residence in your body, in your energy field, and it's weighing you down. You think if you ignore it, it will go away. But it doesn't go away. It just gets heavier. It accumulates. It becomes the background noise of your life, draining your vitality, limiting your joy, keeping you stuck in patterns that no longer serve you. So you have to feel it, not think about it. Feel it. Let it move through you. Emotions are just energy in motion. They want to flow. They want to be felt and released. But instead, we judge them. We think some emotions are good and some are bad. We think we should only feel happy and grateful and positive. And when we feel sad or angry or scared, we think something is wrong with us. But nothing is wrong with you. You're just human. And humans feel the full range of emotions. That's what makes us alive. When you're tired of everything, there's probably a lot of unfelt emotions stored up in you. Maybe it's grief over losses you never fully processed. Maybe it's anger at injustices you experienced. Maybe it's fear about the future. Maybe it's shame about your past. Whatever it is, it's taking up space inside you. And that space needs to be cleared out so that your natural energy, your natural vitality, your natural joy can flow again. So give yourself permission to feel. Cry if you need to cry. Scream into a pillow if you need to scream. Hit a punching bag if you need to release some rage. Write in a journal. Talk to a therapist. Move your body. Dance. Shake. Do whatever it takes to let that trapped energy move. Because on the other side of that release is freedom. On the other side of that pain is peace. On the other side of that darkness is light. And here's something else you need to know. Your thoughts create your reality. Not sometimes. Not maybe. Always. Every single thought you think is sending out a vibration into the universe. And the universe responds to that vibration by bringing you experiences that match it. So if you're constantly thinking thoughts of lack, of limitation, of fear, of unworthiness, that's what you're going to experience. If you're always focused on what's wrong, on what's missing, on what's not working, you're going to get more of that. Because the universe doesn't hear your words. It feels your vibration. Right now, if you're tired of everything, you're probably stuck in a very low vibration. You're thinking thoughts like, nothing ever works out for me. I always fail. I'm not good enough. Life is too hard. I can't do this anymore. And every time you think those thoughts, you're reinforcing that reality. You're literally creating more experiences of tiredness, of struggle, of failure. Not because you're a bad person, not because you're being punished, but because that's how the creative process works. Your thoughts are powerful. They're creating your life, whether you realize it or not. So if you want your life to change, you have to change your thoughts. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but I can't just think positive thoughts when everything in my life is falling apart. That's fake. That's denial. And you're right. I'm not asking you to pretend everything is great when it's not. I'm not asking you to slap a happy face on your pain. What I'm asking you to do is shift your perspective, to look at your situation differently, to find a new way of interpreting what's happening. Instead of thinking, I'm tired of everything, nothing works, I'm a failure, you could think, I'm tired of living in a way that doesn't match who I really am. This tiredness is a signal that I need to make a change. This is my opportunity to create a new life. See the difference? You're not denying the tiredness. You're reframing it. You're finding the gift in it. You're using it as a catalyst for transformation instead of evidence of defeat. Everything in your life is here to serve you. Everything. Even the hard stuff, especially the hard stuff. Your challenges are not obstacles, they're opportunities. They're not punishments, they're lessons. They're not happening to you, they're happening for you. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this here to teach me? What is this situation asking me to learn? What quality do I need to develop? What belief do I need to release? When you approach your life from this perspective, everything shifts. You stop being a victim. You start being a student. You stop feeling powerless. You start recognizing your power. You stop waiting for life to get better. You start making life better from the inside out. And that's the key, from the inside out. Most people are trying to change their lives from the outside in. They think, if I just get that job, then I'll be happy. If I just find that relationship, then I'll feel complete. If I just make that amount of money, then I'll feel secure. But it doesn't work that way. External circumstances cannot give you internal peace. External achievements cannot fill an internal void. You've probably already figured this out. You've probably already achieved some things you thought would make you happy, and they didn't. Or they did for a little while, and then the emptiness came back. That's because true fulfillment doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from being who you are. It comes from accepting yourself completely. It comes from recognizing that you are already whole, already worthy, already enough, just as you are right now. Not when you lose the weight, not when you get the promotion, not when you find the partner. Now, in this moment, with all your flaws and mistakes and imperfections, you are enough. And I know that's hard to believe, because you've been taught the opposite. You've been taught that you need to improve yourself, that you need to fix yourself, that you need to become someone different in order to be acceptable, to be lovable, to be successful. But that teaching is a lie. It's the biggest lie ever sold, because you are already a perfect expression of life itself. You are already exactly where you need to be. You are already doing the best you can with the awareness you have. And that is enough. Now, this doesn't mean you don't grow. This doesn't mean you don't evolve. This doesn't mean you stay stuck where you are. What it means is that you stop making your growth conditional for your self-acceptance. You stop beating yourself up. You stop the harsh self-criticism. You stop the constant judgment. You treat yourself with the same compassion and kindness you would offer to a small child or a dear friend. You become your own best friend instead of your own worst enemy. When you're tired of everything, you're probably being very hard on yourself. You're probably telling yourself that you should be further along by now, that you should have accomplished more, that you should be different than you are. Every single should is a rejection of what is. Every single should is a way of saying that this moment, this experience, this version of you is not acceptable. And that rejection is what's making you tired. Because you're at war with reality. You're at war with yourself. And that's a war you can never win. So what's the alternative? Acceptance. Not resignation, not giving up, but true acceptance of what is. This is where I am right now. These are my current circumstances. This is how I feel. This is what I'm capable of right now. And that's okay. I accept it. I don't have to like it. I don't have to want to stay here forever. But I can accept it as my current reality without resistance, without judgment, without making it mean something about my worth or my future. When you accept what is, you stop wasting energy fighting against it. And that energy becomes available for something else, for healing, for creativity, for joy, for growth. But as long as you're resisting your current reality, you're stuck in it. Because what you resist persists. What you fight against, you give power to. What you try to run away from follows you wherever you go. So stop running, stop fighting, stop resisting. Just be here, right now, exactly as you are. Feel what you feel. Acknowledge what's true. And breathe. Just breathe. Your breath is your anchor to the present moment. When you're lost in worry about the future or regret about the past, your breath brings you back. When you're overwhelmed by emotion, your breath steadies you. When you're disconnected from yourself, your breath reconnects you. Take a breath right now, a real breath, not a shallow chest breath, but a full, complete breath that fills your entire body. Feel your belly expand. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel the life force flowing into you. And then let it go. Release it completely. And as you release that breath, release everything you've been holding on to, the tension, the worry, the fear, the tiredness. Just let it go. Even if just for this one moment, just let it go. And in that space of letting go, notice what's left. Notice the stillness. Notice the peace. Notice the awareness that's always here underneath all the noise, underneath all the drama, underneath all the tiredness. That's who you really are. That's your true nature. And it's always available to you. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to achieve it. You just have to remember it. You just have to come back to it again and again and again. Living from this place changes everything. When you're connected to your true self, you have unlimited energy. Not the frantic, nervous energy of the ego trying to make things happen, but the calm, steady, sustainable energy of life itself flowing through you. You don't have to push. You don't have to force. You just have to allow. You just have to get out of your own way. You just have to trust. And trust is scary. I get it. Trust means you don't know what's going to happen next. Trust means you can't control the outcome. Trust means you might fail. You might look foolish. You might get hurt. But you know what? You're already hurting. You're already tired. You're already suffering from trying to control everything. So what do you really have to lose by trying a different way? What if you lived as if the universe was conspiring in your favor instead of against you? What if you interpreted every event as happening for your highest good, even when you can't see how? What if you believed that you are being guided, supported, and loved by something far greater than you can comprehend? How would your life be different? How would you feel? How would you act? You would stop worrying so much. You would stop trying to figure everything out. You would stop carrying the weight of the world. You would relax. You would open. You would receive. You would play. You would explore. You would create. You would love. You would live. And isn't that what you really want? Underneath all the tiredness, underneath all the struggle, underneath all the pain, don't you just want to feel alive again? Don't you want to wake up in the morning with energy and enthusiasm? Don't you want to feel connected to yourself and others? Don't you want to feel like your life has meaning and purpose? Don't you want to be free? You can have that. Not someday. Not when everything is perfect. Not when you've achieved all your goals. Now, today, in this moment, you can choose it. You can decide that you're done living the old way. You're done pretending. You're done sacrificing your truth to please others. You're done playing small. You're done being tired. You're ready for something new. You're ready to come alive. And the way you do that is by making a different choice. In every moment you have a choice. You can choose fear or love. You can choose separation or connection. You can choose the ego or the true self. You can choose to listen to the voice in your head that says you're not enough, or you can choose to listen to the voice in your heart that says you're everything. Every single moment, you get to choose. And every choice you make creates your life. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to keep living the way you've been living, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, getting the same results? Or are you going to try something different? Are you going to take a risk? Are you going to step into the unknown? Are you going to trust that maybe, just maybe, there's a better way? I'm telling you there is. There's a way to live that doesn't leave you exhausted at the end of every day. There's a way to work that doesn't feel like drudgery. There's a way to relate that doesn't drain your energy. There's a way to be that feels natural and effortless and true. But you have to be willing to let go of everything you think you know. You have to be willing to question all your assumptions. You have to be willing to start over. And starting over doesn't mean throwing your whole life away. It means starting over internally. It means clearing out all the old programming, all the limiting beliefs, all the false identities you've been carrying around. It means returning to that place of pure potential you came from. It means remembering who you were before the world told you who you should be. That person is still inside you. That free, creative, joyful, unlimited being is still there underneath all the layers of conditioning. And that being is not tired. That being is full of life. That being wants to express itself. That being wants to play. That being wants to create. That being wants to love. But it's been buried under years of should and have to, and what will people think? It's been suffocated by responsibility and obligation and duty. It's been forgotten in the hustle of trying to survive, trying to succeed, trying to prove your worth. But it's time to remember. It's time to let that being come out. It's time to let yourself be who you really are. And yes, that might mean making some changes in your life. It might mean letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It might mean leaving a job that's killing your spirit. It might mean moving to a new place. It might mean saying no to things you've always said yes to. It might mean disappointing people who want you to stay the same. But is that really scarier than staying where you are? Is disappointing others really worse than betraying yourself? Is change really more frightening than spending the rest of your life being tired of everything? I don't think so. I think the scariest thing of all is getting to the end of your life and realizing you never really lived. You never took the chance. You never tried. You played it safe the whole way, and you missed out on the adventure that life was offering you. Don't let that happen. Don't let fear run your life. Don't let other people's opinions determine your choices. Don't let the past dictate your future. You are not your history. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are infinite possibility. You are pure potential. You are life itself, expressing itself uniquely through you. And that life wants to flow. It wants to move. It wants to expand. It wants to grow. But it needs your cooperation. It needs you to get out of the way. It needs you to stop blocking it with your limiting thoughts and beliefs. So how do you do that? How do you get out of the way? You become aware of your thoughts. You watch them like you would watch clouds passing in the sky. You notice when you're thinking limiting thoughts, and you gently redirect your attention to something that serves you better. You practice gratitude for what you have instead of focusing on what you lack. You look for the good in every situation instead of dwelling on what's wrong. You speak kindly to yourself instead of engaging in harsh self-criticism. These practices might sound simple, but they're not easy, because you have years of habitual thinking patterns to overcome. Your brain has carved deep grooves of negativity and limitation. Those thoughts come automatically. But here's the thing, just because a thought arises doesn't mean you have to believe it. Just because your mind says something doesn't make it true. You can observe the thought, acknowledge it, and let it go without attaching to it, without identifying with it, without acting on it. This is the practice of mindfulness, of conscious awareness, of choosing your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. And when you practice this consistently, your life begins to change. Not overnight, not magically, but gradually, steadily, surely. You start to feel better, you have more energy, you see possibilities where you used to see only problems. You feel more peaceful, more joyful, more alive. And as you change internally, your external world begins to shift. Opportunities appear, synchronicities happen, the right people show up at the right time, doors open, things flow. Not because you're forcing them to, but because you're in alignment. You're vibrating at a higher frequency, you're attracting different experiences. You're creating from a different place. This is not wishful thinking. This is not fantasy. This is how the universe works. Everything is energy. Everything is vibration, and like attracts like. When you're vibrating at the frequency of tiredness, of struggle, of limitation, that's what you attract. But when you raise your vibration, when you connect with your true self, when you align with love instead of fear, everything changes. Your entire life transforms. But you have to do the work. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can think your thoughts for you. Nobody can choose for you. This is your life, your responsibility, your opportunity. And every single day, you get to decide. You get to choose what you're going to focus on, what you're going to believe, what you're going to create. So if you're tired of everything right now, that's okay. Feel it. Acknowledge it. Honor it. But don't let it stop you. Don't let it define you. Don't let it become your identity. Instead, let it be the catalyst for change. Let it be the wake-up call you needed. Let it be the beginning of your transformation. Because on the other side of this tiredness is a life you can't even fathom right now. A life of freedom and joy and purpose and peace. A life where you wake up excited to be alive. A life where you're doing work that matters to you. A life where your relationships are authentic and fulfilling. A life where you feel connected to something greater than yourself. A life where you're expressing your unique gifts and talents. A life where you're making a difference. A life where you're truly, fully, completely yourself. That life is possible for you, not because you're special, not because you're lucky, but because you're human, and this is your birthright. This is what you came here for, to experience the fullness of life, to express the magnificence of your being, to contribute your piece to the great tapestry of existence, to love and be loved, to create and to play, to learn and to grow, to be free, and it starts right here, right now, in this moment, with one choice, one decision, one commitment, the commitment to yourself, the commitment to wake up, the commitment to remember who you really are, the commitment to stop living someone else's life and start living your own, the commitment to honor your truth, to follow your heart, to trust your inner guidance, no matter what anyone else thinks or says or does. This is your moment, this is your time. You've been preparing for this your whole life, even if you didn't know it. Every challenge you faced has made you stronger. Every failure has taught you something valuable. Every painful experience has opened your heart and expanded your consciousness. Nothing has been wasted. Everything has been necessary. Everything has brought you to this exact moment, reading these exact words, feeling this exact feeling, and this moment is perfect. Because it's real, because it's true, because it's yours. So take a breath. Feel your body. Notice that you're alive. Notice that your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, life is flowing through you right now. And in this moment, in this breath, make a decision. Decide that you're done being tired of everything. Decide that you're ready for something new. Decide that you're going to trust, that you're going to surrender, that you're going to open, that you're going to let life lead you instead of trying to control everything. And then take one small step, not a giant leap, not a dramatic gesture, just one small step in a new direction. Maybe it's finally making that phone call you've been avoiding. Maybe it's signing up for that class you've been curious about. Maybe it's having that conversation you've been afraid to have. Maybe it's simply sitting in silence for 5 minutes and listening to what your inner wisdom wants to tell you. Whatever it is, do it. Take action. Because action creates momentum, and momentum creates change. And as you take that step, know that you're not alone. You're supported by forces you cannot see but can always feel if you tune in. The entire universe is on your side. Life itself wants you to succeed, to thrive, to flourish. You are loved beyond measure by the source that created you. You are held in an embrace of infinite compassion. You are guided by a wisdom that knows exactly where you need to go and how to get you there. All you have to do is trust. All you have to do is allow. All you have to do is say, yes, yes, to life, yes to love, yes to yourself, yes to the adventure, yes to the unknown, yes to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, the best is yet to come, that maybe this tiredness is not the end but the beginning, that maybe you're not falling apart but falling together, that maybe you're not losing yourself but finding yourself for the very first time. This is your invitation. This is your calling. This is your chance. Don't let it pass you by. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt convince you that you can't do it. You can. You absolutely can. Because you are more powerful than you know. You are more capable than you believe. You are more loved than you can imagine. And you are never, ever alone. So get up, stand up, take that first step, and then take another, and another. And before you know it, you'll be living a completely different life. A life that fills you with energy instead of draining you. A life that inspires you instead of exhausting you. A life that reflects who you really are instead of who you thought you had to be. A life worth living. A life worth celebrating. Your life, the one you were always meant to live. The one that's been waiting for you to claim it. The one that begins right now, in this moment, with this choice. Choose life. Choose love. Choose yourself. Choose freedom. And watch everything transform.